Today, I want to talk about conflict. It's an important issue because every relationship is going to have conflict. And it's not that conflict is bad. In fact, there's a lot to learn in conflict. The problem comes in with how people deal with conflict. A lot of people have a lot of fear of conflict because they've never developed their loving adult self who actually knows how to deal with conflict in productive ways. So take a moment to think about, what do you usually do in conflict? And how do you end up feeling when you do what you usually do? So do you get angry? Do you threaten? Do you blame? Do you defend? Do you explain? Do you just walk away? Do you shut down, withdraw, resist? Think about, what do you do in conflict and what happens inside of you and what happens in your relationship when you deal with conflict in the way that you've been doing. One of the problems with getting triggered into our lower brain is that we can't think well when we're in our lower brain. That lower brain is a programmed part of us, and it's impossible to resolve conflict when we're stuck in our lower brain. So when you're in fight, flight, or freeze, that is not the time to try and resolve conflict. And if one of you has learned to stay open and not get triggered into your wounded self, one of the things that's really important to accept is that you still will not be able to resolve conflict if the other person is in their wounded self. The wounded self is where we go. That's the lower brain. That's the fight, flight, freeze place. That's the place that's programmed with all the false beliefs. That's our ego wounded self. And when we're in that state, we're not thinking clearly. We're not open. And so there's no way that conflict can be resolved unless both people are in their loving adult state and open to learning about themselves and open to learning about each other. So it becomes really important to know what to do if one or the other of you gets triggered into your wounded self. And the thing that I suggest that people do is take a break. It's not a withdrawal. It's not a shutting down. It's one of you having the presence of mind to say, I don't think we're going to get anywhere. I don't think we're in the most open place. Even if you feel you are open, you don't want to be blaming the other person for not being open. So you want to say something like, let's just take a 15-minute break and see if we can cool down, and then maybe we can come back and talk about what's going on here. So today, the loving action that I'd like you to take is to start to tune into, what do you do in conflict? How do you react in conflict? And how does it make you feel?